Today I'm going to repair a bunch of cable boxes, or ATSC digital tuners. I usually get a few from people over the month. These fail so often that I save them up before I fix them, because I know I'm going to have a few every month come in. A couple on my desk here already opened up. The most common problem is power supply capacitors. Problems they have, when you plug them in, the red light will come on, but it won't turn green, or it'll flicker back and forth. Sometimes it'll turn orange. I don't think I've ever seen one just not turn on at all, but that might happen too. So I got 3 of them. I'm just going to fix them all at once. I just pull them apart, pull the power supply boards out. That way I can just fix all of them really easy. This one here has 4 failed capacitors. You can see they're bulging there. Let's replace those 4. And I'll probably fix that one. This one here, those aren't bulging yet, so I'll leave them alone, but there's one bad one there. And this one still powers on, but has some other issues, so I'm not sure yet if that's a power supply or something else. It could be a capacitor on the motherboard, so I'll just start replacing capacitors. Got a whole bunch in here. Here's the 3rd one that I said powered up but didn't work properly, and I guessed right, and there's a bad capacitor on the motherboard here. Where'd it go? That one right there, it looks like. Bulging a little bit, and I think that's the only one on that board. So I got, out of 3, one motherboard bad and 2 power supplies bad, so this will be easy to fix. It's just capacitors, and you know, just I get parts from other old electronics. As long as the voltage and capacity are equal or greater than the original one, it'll be fine, because they're just filter capacitors. So some of this, something in there. So here's some replacements I pulled out of my stuff. As you see, it doesn't really matter what they look like as long as the voltage is equal or greater. These are all 25 volt capacitors I'm replacing today, so here's one that says 63 volts. Most of these are 25s though. 25. And as long as the value is about the same, it could probably be a couple hundred off, just enough to filter the ripple out of the AC as it's rectified. It will be enough for these things to work properly. Before I remove the capacitors, I like to mark on the circuit board which side is negative. Sometimes it's printed on the board, sometimes it's not. And I've taken them off before and discovered it doesn't say anywhere, and I've had to figure it out. If you put one backwards, I've heard that they can boil and just vent again. Sometimes getting the solder to melt is difficult. The lead-free stuff they use just doesn't like to melt, and I found a long time ago, if you just add a little bit of regular solder to it, like melt it in, it'll just melt fine afterwards. Alright, there's the first replacement right there. It's 100 microfarads smaller than the original one, but it should work just fine. This one is done, so on to the next board. Alright, got the second board done. All 4 of those. Last one is this board here, and where'd it go? It's there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Bulging capacitor right next to the CPU. It's probably some sort of voltage filter for the processor. Sometimes it won't cooperate no matter what you do, so I couldn't get the pins to go through the holes. Maybe it's just too thick. So what I did, I just kind of surface soldered it on the back side, and should work fine. Let's put them back together and test them. Alright, here's the one with the bad motherboard. Seems to work. I probably need to hook it up to the TV for this one to check. Alright, now for this one. Seems to work. Good. Last one. Uh-oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I was plugging in a different box. Let's try this plug. There we go. And that works now too. Alright, just gotta put them back together and then I'll return them to their owners, I guess. And that's how you repair most of these boxes. They all seem to be failing, this brand anyway. The Apex ones. And it's always bad capacitors. So if you have one of these boxes and it doesn't power on or has a problem, just open it up and look for bulging capacitors. It's really easy to point them out. They look like they're about to explode, and you just replace them. You can get parts at Radio Shack or just pull from other old electronics and fix these pretty easily.